Alrighty, it's the next day. Since my winch is kind of on the outs right now, I thought it'd be better to bring a more appropriate piece of equipment, and that is this. I see it all the time, people trying to figure out how to use an excavator for tree work, because they're a really versatile machine, they're really handy, they're also really heavy, they're really slow. So it's kind of, they don't fit every application like maybe a mini skid or something does. But they also can lift way bigger stuff. So it's give and take. Today, the reasons this is going to work out this time is because the ground conditions are really, in our favor with the snow and the frozen ground underneath. And so this machine isn't going to make, a big mess in the yard. And then also, they just want it stacked over in the woods somewhere. So stacking stuff with a winch isn't impossible. You can do it with a high pulling point, putting a block up in a tree somewhere or something. But just with the creek out here and some of the hills and stuff, it just wasn't super conducive just to making a big pile of brush somewhere. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. So if you're interested, a large part of how to use an excavator is machine position. So just like when you're setting up a crane or something, it's super important to get it in the best spot possible, and that is exactly the same thing for an excavator. It is a much more mobile machine than a crane, but like your thumb angle and bucket angles and all that depend on your working pieces being a certain distance away from the machine, and it can't be too far and it can't be too close. Looky there, I made too big a stack and I couldn't get it all. So we're gonna go over here and set this down, but normally it's not a big deal, but when you're working sideways like this, doing a lot of tracking sideways, it can be really tricky. And so that's just something to keep in mind if you ever get into an excavator. Alrighty, we got the first tree cleaned up. As you can see, right over here, it used to be in this area here, and now it's just a bunch of twigs. So I will definitely have to come back when the snow is gone to finish raking that up, which I'm not thrilled about, but it is what it is. Not gonna leave a mess. So we'll get to stacking these other pieces here. I think what we'll do, I don't know, we'll feel it out, but we might make a bunch of stacks and then move them all over to the big pile in the underbrush over there. I don't know if it'll be faster, but at least get the picking and the sorting out of the way first. It is, that's exactly what we're gonna do, and this is why. I have my undercarriage turned, the tracks turned to go along the length of this tree so I can stack these into bigger piles. And in order to make it over to the stack I've got in the underbrush where I'm piling everything up, all the logs and stuff, I need to turn my undercarriage around to point that direction. And so to avoid having to turn a bunch of times, which is something we typically try to do with these machines because they just tear things up, even with the snow on the ground, I don't want to find myself doing donuts, making a mess. So I'll get all my stacks made here, then I'll turn the tracks around, and then I will just keep checking straight back and forth between all my little piles here and the big pile. This brush is a lot less obedient than the last brush. It might get kind of tricky. We'll see here. A swinging and swiveling grapple would sure be a nice upgrade here. If I end up using this machine enough for this kind of stuff, I might find myself getting one, but time will tell. They're not cheap. I don't know what one costs, but I'm sure they're not cheap. They're also probably not easy to switch. Bucket you can take on and off in a couple seconds or, well, a couple minutes on this setup, but on a grapple, I think you're going to find yourself having to disconnect some cylinders and take them off. And so it wouldn't make sense if I was going back and forth between digging and tree jobs. But like I said, excavators only work in like really specific situations, and this just happens to be one of them. So it is worth mentioning that on a tight lot where you don't want to do a bunch of driving, you know, because sometimes making a bunch of trips over dry ground will really tear up grass too with like a mini skid or a small tractor. But I'll see, now I screwed myself because I've got this pile in my way and I can't reach this pile over here, or those two limbs over there. Well, I don't know, we'll see here. I'm gonna see if I can reach over here and grab them. I'm thinking probably not. Oh yeah, at least that one. If I can remember my controls correctly. Getting rusty. I used to be kind of good at these machines. It's been a while though. Oh, there you go, I'm going the wrong way. There's 3 piles worth of stuff here. I'm going to take this pile and take this pile, and then whatever's left I'll put in one last pile. Trying to keep the pile low profile enough so it's not an eyesore for the rest of forever. Nice. A little bit of weight there. Bit stacked up here. Hope Open up nice and wide. Bite down.
So you might be able to see the color that's coming up through the snow there. I'm kind of guessing we're starting to squeeze up some water. So that color is probably mud, and it's probably perfect timing for us to head on out, which is good. Oh wait, we got to cut that stump off yet. Way over there. Alrighty, I got that cut off there real quick. Try to sneak our boom under these branches as much as we can. Gotta be careful here not to hit. There's a little electrical outlet right next to this thing. Yeah, there we go. Very nice, very nice. Even if I do say so myself. See if we can get over the back side here so it's not visible. Kind of. There, very nice. Alrighty, well off we go. We're gonna go drive this back around the other side of the house and load things up. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more content of, with this machine on this channel, let me know. Yeah, just let me know, and I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you on the next one. I have one final thought about excavators and tree work as I'm pulling out the drive here. I have rented them before when I had a bunch of logs to load up, and the equipment I had wasn't really good at reaching up high. It was just that little Kubota tractor, and I rented one. It was like $300 for the day or something. I loaded up 3 or 4 trips worth of logs in my truck, and I think I was done by noon or something like that. I forget how far away I was hauling them. That's obviously a big component of it. But that being said, as long as you can get the machine and the truck set up in the right orientation, you can really pile logs in a truck really fast. So they are good for that for sure.